So Brian, regarding our Desert Springs trip,
Yes, Mike.
this will be my first coaching trip with Easy Swinging Golf.
Yeah.
What can I expect?
Have you been on a coaching trip before? Or have you just been on golf trips with
I've
guys
just
playing?
been on golf trips.
Okay, so this is quite different. If I can just give you an idea about the schedule, because we will get there, we'll have a first meeting because we want to talk to people, find out why they're with us for the week, what their objectives are, find out a little bit more about them, and we have a sort of a group chat about that. It also helps people get to know each other, and then we'll go out and hit some balls and basically just warm them up after a journey, because as you know, flying across the world and then getting out of an airplane and playing golf. So we don't play golf on the course the first day, and then over the next few days we will play 4 rounds of golf, and we will play with I think we're playing in 3 balls. We'll play with 2 people every day, so we get to play with everybody through the week. And the first day we'll do a little bit of coaching, but very light coaching. Personally, I don't like coaching before playing. I prefer to play and then coach afterwards. Otherwise people go out trying to do what you've been talking about.
Thinking too much.
Then there'll be, during the week there are 2 days where we have 2 hours coaching in the morning and 2 hours coaching in the afternoon.
So they'll learn practical course skills as well as improving their technique.
Yeah, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about Desert Springs in a moment. But so there's a mixture of playing, coaching, plenty of time for them to absorb what we're talking about. The idea, of course, is they're immersing themselves in Easy Swing for a week. And immersion also means that we have a meeting before dinner, and we'll be asking them how the day's gone for them, any questions, showing some videos, not necessarily videos of them swinging the golf club, but videos that we think are pertinent for the learning process. We dine with them. We're basically with them for, I wouldn't quite say 24 hours a day, but we're there, we're always around. It's not a question of, oh, we'll see them occasionally for some coaching. We're with them all the way. And of course the practical thing, you've played at Desert Springs, and I haven't, so and by all accounts it's a lovely place.
It is. It's different for Spain. It's the area that the old spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood used to be made round, and so the area is mostly open countryside, blocked round by beautiful mountains. You get spectacular sunsets, so the area itself does not feel at all busy. It really is right out in the country, and the golf course itself is a good challenge, very nicely manicured and reasonably wide open. So it should suit most people, and certainly the practice facilities are a very good standard. They have beautiful pitching and chipping areas.
Lovely.
And
and the course itself, so it's a challenge, but it's playable, and I think you were saying that it actually lends itself towards learning strategy, because the Easy Swing in golf is not just about the swing. It's about how can I make the whole game a bit easier. Club selection, shot selection, and I know that's a subject that you're pretty strong on.
Yes,
because you're quite a good player apparently, I've heard.
I think it's like a lot of golfers, that very much depends on what day it is.
Yes.
But one thing I have learned from the Easy Swing in golf is some tools to use when I'm not playing so well on some days, so that I can get around the golf course in still a reasonably low score, but more importantly enjoy it. And I know we'll be talking a lot about that on the week.
A lot about enjoyment, yes. Absolutely fundamental to the Easy Swing in golf is helping people to enjoy the game more, because my feeling is that you look at people on a golf course and they come off the golf course and you say, well, how did you enjoy that today? And they said, well, I love my golf, but today wasn't a good day. It's like they've got a little black cloud that they're taking around with them. So helping people to adopt the right attitude to playing badly, because it's inevitable that we hit bad shots. Have you ever played a round of golf where you didn't hit a bad shot?
No.
And it's lovely to hear they've got good practice facilities, particularly the short game, because on these holidays I found that a lot of people it's like everybody of whatever level and whether they're playing well or badly that day, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots, they're quite close to the green. And then all hell can let loose. So this side, that side, the French have an expression for it, essuie-glace, which is windscreen wipers, from one side to the green to the other, and invariably from one bunker to water hazard. And so we talk a lot about the link shot. It links your long shots to actually getting on the green and putting. And so to have good short game facilities is vital.
And what skill level? I get asked a lot with golf coaching holidays that people want to feel comfortable within the group, that they won't be the worst, or that this kind of tuition is pitched so that it will improve their golf. So could you give me some idea about what kind of skill level we'll be looking for in this group?
We're actually not looking for a skill level, because the nice thing about our philosophy of coaching in the easiest game, making the game easier for people and thus more enjoyable, is actually, it doesn't matter whether somebody's a 9 handicapper or a 24 handicapper or a 36 handicap lady, because also there's plenty of time to be personal about the coaching. We've had occasionally a single figure golfer, but not very often. This is a holiday for senior golfers. Occasionally you get somebody younger, but it's specifically really for seniors. And I suppose the average handicap would be around 20, 22 handicap.
Right. So improving golfers or golfers who would like
we've had a beginner, a total beginner, come on one of these trips, and she had a lovely time because we set targets and objectives that are reachable. So it's not elitist. It's very much not elitist, and everybody gets exactly the same attention, whatever their handicap is.
And would it be important that they enjoy the odd glass of wine?
Well, let's not say important, because some people maybe don't drink wine, but I think it's important that the coaches enjoy a glass of wine occasionally.
Okay, but, I must remember that.
But it's a holiday, so we mustn't forget that. So it's not a boot camp. It's not you've got to work hard on your game. No, it's all about enjoyment, and it's hopefully the dinners and the conversation and learning about each other, and yes, having a glass of wine. It's a relaxed atmosphere.
I think the nicest thing about coming to a week coaching course is that you can kind of stop the world for a week and get off, and the only questions that you really have is what time am I playing tomorrow and what are we having for dinner? And those are about the only two questions which I think which allow you to relax into that situation in a way that you never could if you were at home.
And to me, one of the great things about these holidays is that as a group, and individually, but certainly as a group, there are always lots of questions and there'll be lots of answers, but it won't be complicated. The idea is not for people to go home more complicated than when they arrive. Our job is to take the complicated and translate it into simple. So it's all about simplification, decluttering. You know as well as anybody how complicated the game has become in terms of its teaching. So our job is actually to reverse that, and hopefully people go home with a simpler blueprint or template for how they can play better golf.
I think this is a nice time of the year. We're talking about October for this trip. I think sometimes people are a bit frightened about going on a coaching trip, especially in the middle of the season, in case it gives them too much to think about. So this would be a nice time to go so that they can clarify their thoughts for the winter, work on a few things, and hit the road running next year.
And we do have tools as to how that can be, about the amount of information can be controlled and what each person takes from it and can record. So I won't say too much more about that, but we have tools.
In terms of our group, Brian,
do
you expect most of them to come from the UK, or is it going to be an eclectic mix from around Europe? Or
it will be an eclectic mix. As our reputation grows, we find we get more and more people from abroad. It's quite possible that the majority will be UK based. But I think progressively we're seeing more and more people. We've had people from all over Europe, we've had people from Cyprus, we've had people from America. We actually get people coming from all over the world, and Julie and her team, Holidays for Golfers, can arrange their travel. It's ever so easy. They get looked after. We might travel with the group, the main part of the group, but other people will join us coming from all over the world. So it's a very interesting group. They get newsletters from us about the holiday in advance, so lots of information. We're there all the time, both on the journey and when they're at the resort. So things like dietary requests, we can cope with that in advance. Everything that we have to do as coaches is for people to know they've got an environment where they're not going to be judged, where it's going to be comfortable. Any questions they have will be answered. A lot of those questions will be answered before we even go.
Okay. And one thing that I know you've spoken about before is that on the coaching holidays, and the evening meal is an important part of their learning for the day as well. So that can be almost as advantageous as what the coach has been saying during the day.
Yes, and of course we've got the other thing is the exchange between people. Yes, we're always available to answer questions, but sometimes people ask questions of each other. So it's a learning process, but hopefully it's not an onerous learning process. It's an enjoyable learning process where a lot of this just happens naturally. And so it's a fun week, an informative week. People will learn more about themselves and have a great week away.
I'm looking forward to it.
So am I. Good luck.